It's a very, for me, a strong display of mental strength.
Yeah, very.
Mobile popped over this wireless battery bank for an unboxing. Let's check this thing out and see what we got inside. This thing is solid. It's got nice grips on the side, it's shockproof, and it's water resistant. This battery bank has 20,000 milliamps, which can give you 8 full charges. It's also got this convenient loop for carabiners. My favorite feature about the device so far is that it charges my phone wirelessly. So there's a red light indicator there at the top, and when you put your phone down to charge, it turns green to let you know that you're charging. It's got a lot of solar panels here on the back, and it only takes 60 minutes to charge the battery completely. There's 3 USB ports underneath a rubber cover on the top. 2 of these are fast chargers. So when you push the power button once, it turns on the LEDs that let you know how charged you are. You click the power button twice, it turns on the LED panel. There's a micro USB port on the side here for fast charging.
Going high today. Woo, we're burning calories now. Keep climbing, keep pushing. That hike was incredible. It doesn't get any better than that.
Right on.
And the peloton are underway then in this World Championship, rolling out of the University of Richmond. And everyone cheering them on. I've been out, I had breakfast about 7 o'clock, and already at 7:15 the streets were lined here in Richmond. I think this is going to be a pretty special day in the history of Richmond, Virginia. Well, the car's now pulling away, the motorbikes are pulling away, and as we look down on this peloton, this World Championship road race is now about to be underway, and the flag is going to be dropped. In fact, there we go, this race is on. Now the attack. And the attack comes from Great Britain. This is Ian Stannard. Stannard, the winner of Omloop Het Nieuwsblad on 2 occasions. He decides to go it alone. Robert Hessink is trying to go with him. Stannard has outwitted Etex Quickstep on a number of occasions. Boonen recognises that this is a big moment in this race. Look how quick they are going downhill from the helicopter. 34 kilometers to go. Stannard goes whacking through that corner. Tom Boonen is there as well for the Belgian squad. Everyone is sensing that this is a big, big move. Stannard has pulled away a group of riders. Tom Boonen is looking around to see what the makeup of the group is. Just taking a look here to see what has happened. No, here comes the attack, and it's one of the Dutch riders who is making a big, big move, having Stannard been the rider to go away. A massive attack at the front of this race now.
Right on.
And the Dutch are starting to... Bauke Mollema has now gone. So Mollema has used it as a springboard. Bauke Mollema has gone on the attack for the Dutch squad. He's right on form right now. He is trying to prize this breakaway off the front of the race. Next time round we have 2 laps to go as we make our way up. Governors, one of the Spanish riders, is just behind him. Kwiatkowski has made it. And Viviani is also here. The makeup of the group then. On the front, Bauke Mollema, Kwiatkowski, Tom Boonen, Moreno, Stannard, Viviani, and on the back of the group looks to me like Andre Amador of Costa Rica. These riders are going clear. They really need to work together now. We're just hearing a few riders racing across. Let's see. I think we've got 13 riders now in this leading group. And I'm just taking a look to see who has made it. John Degenkolb, I think, has made the front group. That's going to mean the Germans will no longer chase. Kwiatkowski, Amador, Viviani, Stannard, Moreno, Bonin. Degenkolb is now in there for Germany. Van Avermaet, Marco Haller desperately trying to get himself across to make it 14 riders in the leading group. Let's take a look at the front of this race, though. It's all coming back together. At the front of the race then, Dumoulin has made it. Rui Costa just jumping across. Degenkolb is there. This is a move at the front, and it's Tyler Farrar who is on the move now. I'm pretty sure Tyler Farrar and Sweetsoft. Look at the blue of the Italians all on the front of this peloton. Now the Belgians also arrive. This race is going to come back together as we turn onto Libby Hill. The peloton is all together. Who is going to win this world title? There is a lot of riders in with a shout of winning this. We are nearly at the end of this race, the end of a week of incredible racing here in Richmond. We hit 23rd Street now. One rider going on the attack, and it looks to me like one rider trying to make a move. This is Greg Van Avermaet. Van Avermaet tracked by Peter Sagan. Sagan now goes on the attack. Peter Sagan trying to make his move. Van Avermaet is with him. Bosenhagen is still there. Degenkolb, behind Degenkolb is Nasser Bouhanni. Stibar showing his teeth as they sprint uphill over the top of the climb, and Sagan has a little bit of a gap. He looks around. Van Avermaet. Peter Sagan gives this full throttle now. He goes into the aero tuck. Look at this, downhill, and he's in Frankie Andreo, as he said, the super tuck. He looks around now. He's trying to go away. Sagan is on his own. Can he win the world title? Sagan, look at the gap he's got as he goes into shock on bottom. Sagan leans the bike over, right on the limit right now. Peter Sagan has gone through that corner like he was absolutely on the limit. Behind him is a Greg Van Avermaet and Edvald Bosenhagen. Sagan takes one little look around. He's so cool. He just leans with the forearms as he now goes round the right-hander. Peter Sagan, he's going now to try and win this world title. He hits 42 kilometers an hour. What a bike handler this man is. He's taking seconds out of these riders. Peter Sagan hugging the right-hand side of the road. What an absolutely incredible attack by Peter Sagan. We haven't heard him all race. A little uphill section now. He's looking for the gears. Sagan looking down. Is it going to engage? Bosenhagen is trying to wait and wait, but Sagan has the advantage. This looks like it could be the world title for Peter Sagan. He would be the most popular world champion I have ever seen in the last few years. Bosenhagen now tries to jump across to Sagan. Behind Sagan, and a Spanish team are trying to salvage something. Sagan turns on to Governor Street. He's now going to set himself up for the most important climb of his life. Peter Sagan with 1 kilometre to go. He's out of the saddle. He hugs the left-hand side of the road. Peter Sagan now still lifting the tempo a little bit more. This is his race to lose right now. Sagan looking absolutely superb. The green jersey of the Tour de France. He timed his move to absolute perfection. Behind him, the Spanish team are coming. Has Sagan got enough left? He looks around one more time. Greg Van Avermaet is tying up. The move of Rigoberto Urán. Sagan, he's got a little bit of oil. He puts it in a huge gear. Peter Sagan puts it in the biggest gear on his bike. He's going to turn the left-hand corner. Look at the shoulders. Look at the gritted teeth. Is he going to win this world title? Sagan has got 600 metres to go. He can see the gantry. Now he's got a time trial on his way to the finish line. Rigoberto Urán has just come round the corner. Peter Sagan, don't look round now, Peter. This world championship is just there for the taking. Rigoberto Urán is hunting it down for Colombia. Sagan, he doesn't want to look round right now. He's going to have to give this some green jersey power. Sagan, 6 hours, 14 minutes and 8 seconds of racing. Is he going to win racing. What an absolutely amazing win. Peter Sagan is the world champion. Whoa. Here he goes, right on his wheel with Van Avermaet, but look at the power of Sagan, but he won it on the corners, on the descent. So often this year he's been criticised for finishing second, and he laughed when he said, yeah, but look, it doesn't matter, I like to race my bike, and I've won bike races so far, but the biggest bike race he could win this year is the World Championship. Suddenly the pain turned to smiles. He shakes his head and he then takes the crowd's applause. What a win by Sagan.
Today I was just waiting, and yeah, I had my brother with me and Uri and my friends Michael Kohler, my teammates, and they was always with me. And if something happened, they was ready to change the bike or something. I did just one attack, and it was, I think, the right attack.
Peter Sagan is the world champion.
Very strong move. You can see the acceleration there into the slipstream.
And this is Sagan coming to the front. It's Peter Sagan who hits the front.
Unbelievable.
Sagan has been quiet throughout the race, and now when it really matters, Sagan has made his attack and the bid for World Championship glory, and I'm sure that's Van Avermaet on his wheel. He's got almost nothing left. The tank is almost empty, but I think he's done the job. He's done enough, and with 50 metres to go, he will have time to celebrate, and this will be a very popular victory in the world of cycling, because one of the sport's great showmen has landed the world title. So Cancellara, Sagan, Van Avermaet, and then just a little gap now going back towards Luke Rowe and a few of the others. But this is a really good strong climb here from Sagan, and Cancellara is the only one who can go with him at the moment. Final few hundred metres, Kuznetsov now sets off and makes the sprint. Just under 6 hours in the saddle. The Russian rider leads the way. Sagan's got work to do, but Peter Sagan now is in second place right behind Kuznetsov, and Sagan's going to come off his wheel right at the end, and Peter Sagan just takes it on the line. For the second time in his career, the world champion now has a victory to his name with the rainbow jersey on his back.
Coming to the fore goes Sepp Van Mark, and he's decided to offer Peter Sagan a little bit of assistance here, but more than that, I think he needs to shake him out. He needs to shake him off and hopefully just do something. But Sagan sails alongside as if to prove that he's still got what he takes, and he's delivering the power. He stays seated and meted, and look at this. He is absolutely ripping up this climb. If Sagan gets to the end, this could be the ultimate shootout. We'll wait and see. Van Mark is going backwards. He's going into the clutches of Cancellara, as you can see. Terps has also started to struggle, and Sagan has gone here. Is this going to be the supreme solo? Are we going to see a double world champion winning day after Armistead did it in the women's race? Will Sagan do it here? 30.1 to go. Surely to be written, but this page, I think, will be turned down at the corner as an extra special day for an extra special rider. Rock and roll, Peter Sagan, here he comes. That line belongs to him, and it must be so welcome for our world champion. Peter Sagan, chapeau, sir. What about that, Sean? We stand as one, and we welcome home a true champion. Is Mark Cavendish going to have to do this on his own? No, he's got Peter Sagan, though, hoboing on his own train. They split wide across the road. Nice pick up as well by Groenewegen, who goes dead centre with a treble one. Groenewegen's going to take this one, is he? He's got a drive. He's got Ryder with him for company, but I don't think Pippa can get by him. Groenewegen's still holding on. Oh, as he fades, and here we go. Light up time, my goodness me.
Well, you can see BMC Racing now in second and third position, know exactly who they want to watch. You might just have noticed the rider in the white jersey from Trek Segafredo with the bandage on his knee. That was Peter Stettner, the man who was the animator of yesterday's day. But they're even causing gaps in this group here as they go downhill.
It's a long time since I've seen a race like this. The riders are chasing everything to try and be into the position for a sprint, and all the time the cool operation there of Peter Sagan. This is Janssen van Rensburg going again to see if he can make it. He's got a good shot here. Sagan's trying to get through in the middle. It's going to be a very, very tight finish as he comes up to the line. Peter Sagan gets it right on the line.
Inside the last 500, three up front. Will they contest the victory? It's going to be nip and tuck. There's nothing between them. Going for the big long one. Michael Albertini, the local man's going to lead it out. Peter Sagan has done so much work, hasn't done enough to get in touch. As Gilbert Gillier finds that he's struggling to get on terms inside the last 50 metres. As Sagan goes, the left-hand side of Victor, no one's going to stop Sagan. Sagan takes two in a row. Gillier and Albertini there as well.
Sagan's also there. What have they got? Van Avermaet's also here in his Pareto on the barriers as well. This is fascinating. It's time to deliver. Who's got what it takes? They're licking their lips. They're going to feast on this, but somebody's got to burst for it. Sagan's not gone just yet. And here comes Alaphilippe. He tries to find a bit more power, and he gets it. Alaphilippe, the young man. Oh, but there's more to be played out here. Far more. It is Matthews who gets it. Then goes Sagan. He swaps places with Alaphilippe. Sagan on the drive. The world champion versus Alaphilippe. Oh, what a finish that was. 300 metres to go then, and a trio of absolute talent coming to the line right now. Take nothing away from Chris Froome on all terrain. He's going to be your man. You're going to have to watch out for him. Always said on a fast day, watch for Chris Froome, and he's going to duke it out with Sagan for the line here. He has to show aggression, and he does. Sagan takes the win. Chapeau to him. Corners, it's arrow straight. Cancellara still hasn't gone for this. Others are having a look-see here, and there they light it up. Oh, and look at her. This is Krivtsov right now in the red. There goes Dagan Cole behind. Oh, it's everywhere. Everywhere for himself. Is it going to be the green jersey? Oh, I think that was Krivtsov right at the line before Peter Sagan.
I think that Krivtsov got it here at the line. That's my thought anyway. It looks like he believes. There you go. Matthews on towards the hoardings. It was, but I think Krivtsov is our winner today, and Sagan certainly looks like he's been beaten. Let's have a look. It's a late line draw. You know what? Sagan, premature celebrations by Krivtsov, and there's confirmation for you. Peter Sagan takes it at the line.
Bring it for Joe and Ron now.
200 meters to go.
Amazing performance.
I think he's got it, Peter. Looks like Frances Deschamps.
There is a big
sprint, and he's got a teammate on the wheel. Sagan coming out with Van Avermaet. Can Sagan track down and run? Yes, he's passed it
to the middle.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Sagan, Van Avermaet 1-2. Wow! Unbelievable.
Danny Moreno, can he roll back the years? Sitting on his wheel is Peter Sagan. Peter Sagan is sitting second. Is that for France? Has to be Alaphilippe. Alaphilippe in third in line, and here comes going on the opposite side of the road for glory, Peter Sagan. Peter Sagan, no one's going to stop him. All too easy in the end. Now Peter Sagan can hardly believe it. It all came back to him absolutely perfectly.
Could be minor places. These guys are going to take the left-hander. It unwinds only with 200 to go. They're going to stare themselves into the abyss if they're not careful. Here come the Chargers, and they're on a real motor moment. I can tell you, Helminger picks it up as well. Betting in behind him, it's Jesper Hasselmann. But here come the fast men as well. Oh, they're going to basically blow it at the very last because they couldn't invest for too long. Here we are then. It's Martin Helminger tight on the inside. Everybody else, including Kittel and the Hornings here. Oh, they're getting eaten apart, one after the other. They're feasting. Everybody else is having their fun, but it's not going to be them. Sagan at the line. Oh my goodness, what a sprint, and what timing that was by the peloton. Nizzolo's also in the frame. Sagan staying on Greipel's wheel, as you can see. Greipel there wearing mostly white. Roland Dennis is actually just behind him as well, and they're starting to open this up. They're going long, and David Kolb, I think, is going to have some fun here today. Arno Demera's there as well. Christoph's also here, but he can't decide whether to go or not with the white K on his back. And here's Barani, but Sagan's predatory and waiting to go as well. And then Valbosen home tries to pick it up, tries to change the pace. Greipel staying with Sagan. Demar and Sagan have a little bit of shoulders. There goes Christoph right now, and here comes Greipel. Greipel starting to spear ahead. Oh, and I think just took it from Sagan. Sagan looks like he lost that one as well. No celebrations, and I think the gorilla has finally picked one up.
And it's going to be in the middle. Michael Matthews. Here goes Cavendish. Cavendish is there. Cavendish. And on the line. Who takes it? It is the defence of the title by Peter Sagan.
300 metres, and they've got to launch it. And here goes Peter Sagan, the world champion. Peter Sagan for Bora. Peter Sagan all the way. Peter Sagan opening a gap. 150 to go. Surely it is. It's going to be at a canter. Peter Sagan has had it. Peter Sagan is going to take the win. The world champion to win in Kurna. And it is a first win in the Rainbow Stripes for Bora Hansgrohe.
Viviani finds himself rather exposed. He's got Peter Sagan there. No sign of Fernando Gaviria at the moment, and no sign either of Mark Cavendish at this point. Viviani finds himself leading out Peter Sagan, and the world champion is going to take this unopposed. I think this is all about Peter Sagan. No one's going to get close to him in the end. Peter Sagan wins with something to spare.
Slowly but surely, somebody's going to be tempted, but we don't know who it's going to be. It's going to be Sagan. He goes down. Here he is. He's pressed the button. Now can anybody else get back at him? Thomas is there, but Sagan, I'm afraid, is going to eat him up at this particular moment. Hino's also in the frame here, but Peter Sagan, Peter the Great, Peter the Dominant, they'll probably name this mountain after him. Absolutely superb. Peter Sagan takes it. Hino in second place. Roglic also in the frame.
Marcel Kittel in about 10th position. He's on the wheel of a teammate making that sweeping bend, and it's still on the front of this main field. Riders trying to whip it up. It's in fact United Healthcare.
In the shadow of Morrow Rock, the riders are poised for the finish here. It's going to be a shoulder-to-shoulder battle. That's Christoph trying to get through on the left of our picture as they continue to race up toward the line here. David Kolb, and watch out for Sagan. He's coming through on the inside on the right of our picture, taking on Alexander Christoph. Well, he's going to fly away for this one. Look at the acceleration of the world champion. Be one look up to see where they're finishing line up, and then his two arms in there. Peter Sagan cracked that one big time.
It's Philippe Gilbert, already a stage winner this week, former World Road Race champion and one of the stars of the classic season, puts his shoulder to the wheel, puts the watts out, and is going to try and prevent the likes of the inside the final 500 metres. We've got Trek Segafredo into position. Here comes Sunweb on the left-hand side with a late attack. Peter Sagan spots the danger. It's a late run for the night. Can Sagan get on terms as they get through into the final couple of 100 metres? And no one surely is going to stop Peter Sagan. 200 metres remaining. He's got meters, light years. It's Peter Sagan running to the line inside at 50 metres to go. It's going to be a 14th stage success. It is the world champion, Peter Sagan, taking stage 5 of Tour de Suisse. Arms in the air, all too easy, perfectly timed, perfectly presented, and it's a first victory for him as a Bora Tour rider.
Quick step riding very quickly at the moment. It is a bit of a tailwind sprint, but it looks as if Sasha Modulo is there for UAE.
So going to the line, it is Mario Trentin that's going to launch, and he's got Peter Sagan coming on his left-hand side, Sasha Modulo on his right-hand side. It's going to work out for Team Quickstep, it's going to work out for Peter Sagan. There's no one going to stop Peter Sagan from taking a 15th stage victory. He's got 5 lanes in hand. It's all too easy for Peter Sagan.
Sagan, we can see there, Mike in a really good position. Geraint Thomas also the other journey very much at the front of the field. Anybody here in the top 10 has a chance if they have got it in the lanes.
Well, a look round from Sagan, 280 metres still to go, still the road goes on. Geraint Thomas is there, look on the left-hand side because Dan Martin's there as well. But here comes another problem for Sagan who loses his chain. Sagan on the right side though, still just managing to put it in. Sagan dropped a gear, but he's still at the front. Sagan from Van Avermaet. Behind it's Sir Michael Matthews on the left-hand side in the black and white. Matthews is gaining all the time. Sagan still at the front, but here goes Matthews. Matthews on the left-hand side. It's Sagan though, supreme. Oh, there's a crash, there's a crash. Lots of riders down, crash right across the bunch, and this is a really messy sprint because his Sparahani's been taken down. But look at Sagan from the centre. Peter Sagan is going to launch his sprint. He's going to launch it quite a way out. Sagan on the left-hand side, Ewan around him. Sagan's going to take it though, at a canter. Peter Sagan, Caleb Ewan, Nami I think was in there as well. And what a way for Peter Sagan to return. The world champion is back.
Here we can right now. So Sagan, where's he going to go? Kittle's absolutely nowhere. In the mix here as well is Biffett and Erzberg. There they are in the green. Groeneweg's trying to find space, can't find any. Placards there for Team Katusha. It's an absolute mess. Here's the kink in the road. And Bauhaus picks it up and goes centre stage. Bauhaus down the line, but Sagan's next to him. Bauhaus versus Sagan. Who's going to get there first? Oh, you know what? I think it's the world champion. Left-hand drive right now, and I think it looks like everybody else has decided that there's no catching of Drucker. He's got about 250 metres to go. They're starting to pick up pace behind him. As you can see, Peter Sagan still very much has an interest. There goes Bauhaus as well, who's lining it up. Sagan stays on Bauhaus's wheel. 250 metres, and I think Drucker's going to run out of pace here. Bauhaus picks it up. Sagan one side, they're going to spear either side of him. They're round Drucker right now. Sagan's got this by the looks of things. Who's he going to trace to the line? Nobody's going to get back at Sagan, I don't think. Oh, close it was, with Rudy Barbier finishing nicely. But Peter Sagan raises his hand in the air.
It's Vakovic, she's going for a long one through the middle. 250 metres to go. Behind is being chased down as well by Vakovic. Vakovic in second position and looking really good. But here comes Peter Sagan through the middle. Sagan is there. Sagan, the world champion on the left-hand side. Following him is Van Avermaet. Sagan's going to do it though. Nobody's going to touch him. An exhibition from Peter Sagan, the world champion.
Wow, big turns coming up. Oh, Peter Sagan maneuvers himself into position. He's in P3 at the moment. Takes the big left-hander. Oh, we haven't seen Peter Sagan all day. You only have to see him at the line, I guess. And everyone else
starting to choke at the moment, and here we go, big kicker, and it's time to do the business. It's an out-and-out sprint for the line. Matthews is involved, so is Christoph here. Where's Peter Sagan? We've asked the question so many times, and here he comes. Is he going to make it clean? Sagan versus Christoph on the line. Who's going to get there first? Oh, I don't know. I do not know. It's a split finish here. We're going to have to wait. What a remarkable finish that was.
Here's the attack into the bend by Impey, goes wide.
Impey is on the wheel and the Sagan has got him. Sagan is going forward with Daniel Impey. This is a determined effort by Daniel Impey as he comes up on the rails now. The world champion puts his head down. Luis Leon Sanchez in third. The world champion gets it on the line.
Look out for the French champion on the left-hand side, but he's boxed in at the moment. Viviani in the middle as well. It's Trentine through the middle of the yellow with 200 metres to go. He's gone for it. Sagan on the right side, the former winner. Look on the left there, you can see the French champion. It's Sagan at the front of the minute. Sagan's around, they're all following. Sagan is there, but here comes Viviani. It's Peter Sagan for a third time. Is it going to be the biggest win of the Swiss champion's career? Is it going to be another monument for Peter Sagan? Sagan sits and has Dillier exactly where he wants him at the moment. He's right on his wheel, ready to pounce. Shakes the legs, he's confident, he's ready. So much energy ready to go. It's Dillier who looks, tries to watch him like a hawk. They're well into the last half a lap now. Dillier is there in the red and white of Agile Zerlam on the other French team. The Swiss star on his red bike. And it's the world champion on the gold bike, approaching 250 metres to go. Last bend coming up. Sagan has him right where he wants him at the minute. It is the moment that he launches his sprint. And there is Sagan who dives down. Sagan hits the front, but can he stay there? It is Peter Sagan. It is his moment. It is going to be the world champion in Roubaix for the first time since '81. It's Peter Sagan. Quick step rider inside 200 metres to go. Peter Sagan is ready to launch. Peter Sagan ready to come. Here comes the world road race champion, toe to toe with Gaviria. And here comes Sagan. Is he going to get there? He does! Peter Sagan gets there to take stage 2 of the Tour de Suisse.
Sagan in the hoops of the world champion and Alaphilippe. Aleppo's up there. Oh my goodness, DeMarco's for it. And it's Greipel's on his case. But it's Sagan that slots in as well. Sagan's got to be favourite right now. And here he comes, the world champion. Round the outside. Can anyone follow in his wake? It's a wrestling match between himself and everybody else. And it is going to be the Rainbows that hit the line first. Second yesterday, first today. as well. Oh, and a big turn, a big switch there off the barriers. Gilbert not happy as Colbrelli lights it up. Sagan goes into the centre of the road. Here goes Sagan. Sagan coming all the way to the line. Is he going to make it all the way home? Oh, it's going to be a long Janet. 94 metres. He's still got the grind. He's got the power. Has he got the belief? Of course he has. He's a world champion, and he also is dominating this green jersey competition yet again. Sagan, it's his era, it seems. Another page turned in a history of greatness. He's going to have some fun here, is he? Well, let's see who can catch him. Has he sprung it on absolutely everybody here? This would be outstanding, Sean.
Yes, well, he did say that there's a little bit of just holding off there. We could see Trek Segafredo were just starting to tire, and Gilbert seized the moment to go, but we can see he's being clawed back here. It's still Group AM FDJ holding the leader for Armand.
Bit of cheek, that's what you want. And Philip Gilbert's the kind of guy who can do exactly that. Ryan Smith will be punching the air at the moment. 514 metres to go. Don't forget there's a roundabout to be taken, and he's going around it himself. Can he hold them off? Phil Gill out front at the moment, and they're chasing him down. There's Groupama. They've got Christoph on the back winner. Christoph is a green jersey, and Peter Sagan. Dagan Cobb's in the mix here as well, sitting on there just behind as well. And here we go. Tamar goes for it. Christoph, when he puts his nose in the wind, he usually goes backwards. Let's see if that's the case right now. And it is. The European champion has been tagged as he finds it more drive. Oh, it's Sagan at the line.
Section on smooth road and off the cobbles. Rest of the bike looks fine. Third man in this group is Jelle Wallace, the Belgian. Good ride from Dillian Wallace, but again, with all the firepower still behind the Van Avermaet and Terpstra group at 47 seconds, and Gilbert group at 1:27 as well, with at least 20 riders in there, maybe 30 as well. You wonder what is else to come. There's the defending champion Greg van Avermaet in the second group at 48 seconds, with the winner of the Ronde van Vlaanderen last week, the Tour of Flanders, Nicky Terpstra, former Dutch champion and of course a former winner of this race. This is the closest group to Peter Sagan, and two riders left at the front with Peter Sagan. Dillier and Wallace. There's Sepp van Marke. He has Taylor Finney with him, Wout van Aert from Verandas Willems as well. They're working fairly well, this group, but they're losing time all the time on Peter Sagan's group, and even when Sean Kelly, Sagan had to perform his own repairs there with the Allen key.
Yes, it was surprising to see that at this point in the race, because they've been over so much, very bad terrain, very bad section of cobbles. If your bar is a little bit loose, but obviously maybe from the working and all that vibration, it looked like he did tighten up his bars and tighten up his stem, and his bars are still on the bike, thank God.
It was brave to attempt it while riding at that speed, and he's radioing in now. Maybe he wants to give him the tool back. On to the next sector. Sector 7 in Paris-Roubaix 2018. This is a sector from Sismont to Borgel. It is 1.3 kilometers long, a 3-star sector, and again another of the sectors we're going to be seeing once more in July. Tour de France will take on the cobbles on its stays to Roubaix in a few months' time. Sagan at the front. Is this his moment? Is this his day? This year so far, just one stage early on in the year, down under. And then that win at Gent-Wevelgem. 46 kilometres of the 54.5 of cobbles
miles ridden so far. They'll be feeling it in the legs now. Oh, yellow on ice, says Sean. Yellow on ice, just loses the wheel, and it looks as though we might soon be down to 2 at the front.
Yes, it's definitely starting to lose contact, and not surprising, I think, the pace that Sagan is pushing on here. He's really piling on the pressure. Still looking very impressive, and the question is now that group chasing behind Van Avermaet Tepsa, which was, at the 59 seconds. Is there something left in those guys? Is there a big attack left in some of the guys? And I think on the cobble sections, that's where they have to start doing it, and they cannot wait for too long more, because we're getting ever so close to the finish, getting close to that 25k to go. I'd not be surprised if we see a big attack from some of the guys like Van Avermaet, Tepstra, Van Mark. We have a lot of talented riders chasing Peter Sagan.
Remember, Van Mark likes the cup holder arm. We've seen him attack on that as well before towards the end of the race. In the meantime, kudos to Sylvain Dillier for still being there. Trying to get in the break before actually managing to get in the break several times today. He wasted a lot of energy in that first hour, and it's such an impressive ride for the Swiss champion still to be there.
Big time. When you're out there in front and in the breakaway, you put in such an effort, to get away first of all, and then to hold on out there for, kilometre after kilometre. And when the riders come up from the rear, notably Sagan, like he has been following in the main peloton, so you conserve that so much energy, and not surprised there to see Yellow Eyes having difficulty. You just run out of energy as you get closer to the finish here in Roubaix.
Puddles on the side of the road being dodged by Van Avermaet a couple of wheels further above him. 10 seconds now to Van Avermaet's group. Sagan pulling out time all the time. Remember, victorious in the 100th Tour of Flanders 2 years ago, has not won a monument since. With all the talent he has and all the wins he's had, you really would have thought he would have picked up more in terms of monuments than just one Ronde van Vlaanderen so far. No world champion has won this race with the world champion's jersey on for 37 years. Bernard Hinault, who famously turned up once, won it and didn't come back again, saying that, well, we can't repeat his full quote, but it was a race for stupid people. I think you'll take issue with that since you won it a few times, but it was a funny quote at the time. Nobody's won in the world championships jersey since then.
It's a long way. Great victory if he does manage to hold on out there. We can see Sagan, it looks like that he's slowly upping the pace a little bit. It looks like that he's starting to push on now, and he's getting to close to the 20 kilometres to go, 23.6 to be exact, and I think he's getting more confident maybe, and depending on your feeling, and the riders, they know so well how you're feeling. If you still feel you have a lot to give here, well then you can afford to do that, and slowly he will just Sylvain Dillier, he will just get into difficulty unless he's on a super day, because he's been out there, as we mentioned, for a long time.
There he is, following Sagan's wheel at the front. Sagan shows that handling around each and every one of the corners. That's something we often forget about on the cobbles as well. I know Arenberg and the typical image is one long straight line, but lots of short 90-degree corners on these really top sectors. Sagan at the front. Now Wout van Aert. There's Sturven at the back. Still there for Trek Segafredo. This lot have been here for quite a number of years. Sagan still getting turns from Dillier. What a ride from the man from La Terre Mondiale. Oh, we said they had a revamped classics lineup. This man's the latest man to join, and what a performance. Just over 22 kilometres to go. We're approaching Carrefour de l'Arbre race. Sylvain Dillier has been out since the very start of it. Sagan running at 51 kilometers per hour here has looked stronger and stronger as the race has gone on. 125, and this gap, alarm bells would be ringing, won't they, in those cars now?
Yes, well, we can see there that the effort he was putting in, it looked to be a bigger effort. He seemed to be pushed on a bit more, and I think the clock is telling here, because 126 at the moment, and the 8 hanging around in this chasing group. We can see Terpstra is pushing on, Van Avermaet is there. Like, you have some real talented riders, real strong riders, and they're not able to eat into the advantage at all. It's Sagan who is just pulling out all the time in the past 3-4 kilometers, 5 kilometers.
126. Remember that initial hesitation when he went away, and a lot of people will be thinking, it's all right, there's 53 k's left, a long way to go, somebody will chase him. They have decided to chase him, but it doesn't look at the minute like there's enough firepower left.
For the moment, no. We can see there's getting close to the 130 advantage for Sagan here, and how much has he got, how is he feeling, and that's something is going to be very important. But we can see Sylvain Dillier there, the car comes up, he's starting to ride once again, so they're prepared to continue on contributing with Sagan, and that is vital here, that he has this rider with him that continues on, because if you just get that little rest period, 80-100 metres in his wheel, you recover a bit, and then you can go again and do a long turn on the front, and it's so important that you have one rider with you here.
Well, this has been a Sagan show so far, and Sylvain Dillier, whatever happens here, he'll be quite enjoying himself now. He's in his national kit. He's had a hard day. If he can get to the end without having a big crisis here, whatever happens, he's going to be up there at the end of Paris-Roubaix from the breakaway. It's been a very special ride from him, and a pretty good attack at a vital time from Peter Sagan, just before the place where Tom Burnham won it from, all on his own in 2012. 20 kilometres to go, and we're approaching those 2 key sectors we were talking about, Sean. Next is Conflans-en-Pévèle, very close to the border with Belgium, 1.8 kilometres long, but it's a 4-star sector, followed almost immediately by the Carrefour de l'Arbre. And of course, in recent years, we've seen people make winning moves here. Bonen's won twice from there. Cancellara's won from there. Van Summeren's won on his own from that point as well. And it's getting to the point you've got to do all your work yourself now. Everybody's on their last leg. Everybody's tired. It's about strength and being there.
Yes, well, it's all about how much you've got left in the tank, and we will see pretty quickly on those sections. Conflans-en-Pévèle and Carrefour de l'Arbre, if you have got anything left, and certainly the ones who are doing the chasing here, that Van Avermaet, Terpstra, that group, they have to try and do something if they're going to have any chance of pulling back Sagan. And it doesn't look like 125 at the moment.
It's not shifting, is it?
It's not shifting at all. But if you can, yes, put in a real strong attack, and it is possible to close it down, but you would need more than one rider to go in the attack.
5 sectors to go. The Swiss champion, the world champion, and a bank of enthusiastic fans. The 116th Paris-Roubaix is approaching a very exciting conclusion, but the move might already have gone. Peter Sagan attacking with 53 kilometres to go, bridging to the breakaway. One by one they've dropped off, only Dillier remains with him, and Sagan in the rainbow jersey, hoping to become the first man in 37 years to win with that garment on his back. He has 5 sectors to ride, the most difficult of which comes after this one. It's decision time. It's time to find out whether these 2 guys can hold on. 129, their gap is good, but have they managed to eat properly? Have they managed to drink properly? How are they feeling? Is cramp going to strike? Well, anything can happen in this race at any time. It is not over till it's over, but it's looking very good for them.
Looking really good. Still holding on that 129, and I think we will see who's going to win this Paris-Roubaix pretty quickly now. Because back in that chasing group, will we see some of the riders who would be expected to put in an attack? If they do not do it, very quickly in the first couple of 100 metres of the section we're on at the moment with Peter Sagan and Dillier, then I think it's going to be between the 2 riders we have here on our screen.
1 minute 27. Again, it's just not changing whatsoever. Let's see what the reaction is from behind. It's going to be anything. You're right. This is the moment now, Sean. Taylor Finney. He has Sepp van Marke at the back of this group. Nicky Terpstra here. Greg van Avermaet as well, the defending champion. Wout van Aert running another brilliant cobbled race before this part of his season ends. You can see Nicky Terpstra won last week. Elias, who's dropped back as well. This is a big moment. 1:27, still no change. Sagan's looking strong, and Dillier's not showing any sign of weakness.
He's riding amazingly strong, and he's been, as we mentioned many times, he's been out there for a long time, but he's putting in a monstrous ride here today.
300 metres remaining of this sector of cobbles, and then we head towards the Carrefour. Well, Sylvain Dillier, by the way, was a late inclusion into this team. He replaced Rudy Barbier, who fell last week in the Ronde van Vlaanderen and needed 5 stitches in his knee. Dillier had only had one warm-up race prior to this. He was withdrawn after 3 stages in the Circuit de la Sarthe. Came back, won the Utadelier at the end of March, his first warm-up race back. That was his 7th professional win. He is, of course, a Grand Tour stage winner. But this would be something very special, and the company is in as well. The crowd knows that this is something that they will remember for a long time. You can hear the noise they were making. The gap is going down a little thanks to the acceleration from Taylor Finney. Service with him quickly, but it's at completely the wrong time. And Wout van Aert needs superhuman strength to chase back on us.
We can see that he just dropped a chain, and it can't happen so easily when you go onto the section of cobbles. The chain hops a bit and it drops down, and that's the problem there. Now he's in a situation where he's going to chase back. This is going to be very difficult for him at this point in the race. When you lose 10 seconds, 15 seconds, so difficult to get back. And out front we can see Finney is really pushing on. He's riding for Van Mark now. He's really trying to pull back this advantage with Sagan. Still 1:26 of an advantage.
And here is Nicky Terpstra with his latest acceleration. This is Terpstra's big push to the front. Maybe one last throw in the dice to try and catch those in front. The gap has gone down by about 10 seconds. 16.9 kilometres to go. Finney's job is done. It's up to Van Marke to try and capitalise it. And he's on the wheel right now of Nicky Terpstra, 1:20. So 10 seconds of the gap gone, but he needs to come down by quite a bit more. Oh, Van Avermaet just losing the wheel. Is that a sign of weakness, or is that a little mistake? He's going to get straight back on here, but we'll find out, Sean, on the next sector exactly what the problem was.
Yes, I think maybe he wasn't immediately in the wheel and just lost a little bit of ground, a number of bike lengths. Looked like he was getting back after coming off the section of cobbles there, but we can see Terpstra really pushing on here, and the man from Lotus Soudal, Jensen Busker, he's putting in a real strong performance as well, looking quite strong at the moment.
Yellow Lies, in fact, who's dropped back from the breakaway. De Bussert is still in that group, Sean. It is a very good performance from De Bussert, but it's Lies who's using up his last bit of energy. In the meantime, on the Carrefour de l'Arbre, 1 minute and 15, so 15 seconds has just gone off the breakaways gap. Is there one last glimmer of hope? It would take a huge performance from those behind. There's skips left, skips right, nervous moments for Sagan. This is the roughest sector of cobbles, and this was that nervous moment with the flag. What's that doing there? Wow, right in the middle of the road. It's a big thing. Remember, we saw what happened last year at the Ronde van Vlaanderen with the cut to the Sagan, and similar possibility of incident there. In the meantime, Sagan looks right. I wonder if he can believe if Dillier's still there with him.
I think he's getting a little concerned. We can see there the look over his shoulder, the glance to his right hand side, and he did put in a big effort there from Sagan. We could see Dillier, he was fighting to stay in the wheel. We could see his back wheel sliding a bit just as they approached that big flag, but Dillier is looking impressive, and I'm wondering if Sagan, thinking, is this guy going to, start playing about in the end? Because if you do not contribute to the final, 2 kilometres, then you're going to really make Sagan nervous here, and he's going to try this section, try and get rid of Dillier, and that's is what he's trying to do at the moment, because he's really giving, I think, his 100%.
Yeah, and this is the last hard section. Look at Dillier having to pedal that little bit harder now. Look, concentration, hands on the bars. He's gritting his teeth as he tries to hold on. Sagan, in the meantime, increases the power. There are 4 kilometres left on the cobbles, but there's nothing quite like this after this. This is the last difficult section. Sagan and Dillier just sticking to his wheel. 1:12 is the gap. So they've lost 20 seconds. They won't be too... Oh, no! De Bussera has blown. De Bussera has blown. All that work from his teammate there, Yellow Eyes at the front. And De Bussera is out of the game. It's Terpstra who's pushing on. He has Vermarke still with him. Sturven is the man in the red and black in third wheel. There's Greg van Avermaet in fourth wheel with a number 1 on his back, the defending champion. And I tell you what, for a man who's not on his top form, again, hat off to Greg van Avermaet in this classic series, because he's been there and thereabouts without clearly being at his best.
Well, that is the type of bike rider. He's, you know, a huge talent, a huge class bike rider, and even when they're not at their best, you know, they will not admit that, and I think they have been doing that, but he's really fighting here. And what a chase group we've got here, the 4 riders. I think Sagan has been made aware of that also, that you know, the chase has been upped further back the road by this group of riders, and that's the reason he has to push on here, because still 14.7 to go. Gap coming down 1:12 at the moment.
Carrefour de l'Arbre is over for the world champion and his companion, but Peter Sagan's mind will start to have funny thoughts about why Sylvain Dillier is still there with him. He accelerated and accelerated, but couldn't shake the Swiss champ. They have enough of a gap at the moment, 1 minute and 10 seconds. But with Carrefour de l'Arbre, its second part done, they're under the sector of Gruson, 1.1 kilometres, a 2-star sector, and still Dillier is there. It's all Sagan this now, every time we're on the cobbles, but still the Swiss hangs on.
Yes, and he's got to do it here. He has to do it. He has no choice now, and with 14.2 to go, a minute and 5 seconds, a minute and 4, with the chase, you know, up in behind, they are pushing on. He will be aware of that, and he's in that position where he has to just, you know, keep on working at it and try and hold on to as much an advantage. And it's going to be a complicated one for Sagan in the end, because I think Dillier will try and play the game in the end. He will start missing turns when we get onto the asphalt road. So for Sagan, it's becoming a bit of a complicated one here as we go into the final.
He would trust his sprint to beat Dillier, wouldn't he? Dillier's a fast man, let's not forget, but surely Sagan, the world champion, has to trust his own sprint.
Well, if you have got the time to play around with him, then you can, you know, do a lot. But looking at the situation at the moment, a minute is coming to now, and that is going to, you know, still, I think, come down, because they are definitely going to try and work together, the 4 chasers. And let's not forget the talent we have. You know, Van Avermaet, Terpstra, Stuyven, Van Mark, all, you know, specialists in Paris-Roubaix, specialists in classic riders. They can ride the final so fast, and that is going to be the difficult one for Sagan. A minute, it sounds a lot, but with 13.4 to go, it could come down a lot. And Dillier still contributes here, so that is the good thing, I think, for Sagan, that he is prepared to still walk with him.
Yep, off the cobbles and back to the front again. Sylvain Dillier up there with Peter Sagan. Just gets rid of anything he doesn't need from his pockets. Maybe looking for that extra gel that he's still got. A little bit of food to finish off. 13 kilometres left in this race, the 116th Paris-Roubaix. It's funny, isn't it, because you get rid of a gel wrapper there, how much in terms of weight is that going to affect? But it's almost psychological, if anything, isn't it? Clean your pockets, get rid of anything you can, any sort of weight, then you might feel a little better.
Yes, well, when you take the gel and you swallow the gel down, to get it back into your pocket, it takes that bit of an effort. At this point in, you know, in a race like Paris-Roubaix, you're just, you know, you're really not able to do that. You're not interested in doing it. You're so focused on the race out in front, and certainly, you know, when you're out at the front end of the race, you're just concentrating. You're so focused there. You just do those things.
What's left in the tank in this group? What is left in the tank in this group? 4 riders, 4 specialists, 2 former winners, podium